Today I'm going to share with you a game that I play with my kids whenever we're hiking or on bike rides or just have extra time that helps improve memory. Hello, Dale Majors here, and if you're new to the channel, you'll want to subscribe and like and comment and share if you like it. We create content 5 days a week for people that are motivated and want to get ahead. So just like today, we're sharing this. I've actually got a few videos about memory and how to increase your memory. And today I'm really excited about this one. So I want to share with you a game that we play, that I play with my kids, that is just kind of fun to remember a lot of things in a row. And I'll actually share with you an example. We'll use a random word generator on Google. It's actually just called randomwordgenerator.com. So we'll use that. I'll share the screen, and then I will show you how I go about memorizing all of them, and then we'll do a test. So let's see. I don't know how long this is going to take. I'll try to be quick. I'll try to be super fast in memorizing it. We'll actually choose like 10 things to remember. So it's kind of a fun game to remember things, and when you remember them this way, you remember the order as well. So you should be leaving with a cool party trick if you stay along on the video. So let me share the screen and we will get going here. So here I've got the random word generator that you should be able to see. There you go. So random word generator, we've got essential, house, board, or rack. I'm actually just we're gonna generate a few more random words, and then I will go about remembering them, okay? So 1, 2, 3. Let's start the timer. Let's see where it, well, actually here, let me start a new timer. Boom, reset. Okay, so I'm gonna start the timer right now. Boom, starts. Okay, so notorious, mountain, traction, north, egg white, chimpanzee, position, banish, systematic, bow. I'm gonna memorize all of those in order, and this may take a second. So first, I think, so every time I get with each word, and the way that I play this game with the kids is they give me one word at a time, and then I make a story about each word. So I'm gonna make a story about these 10 words, and then I'm gonna recall them for you. Just having to be creative in my mind and do that, and then I'll explain the process. So I'm closing my eyes, looking awesome. Notorious. Perfect. Boom, got it. Mountain. Got it. So notorious, mountain, traction, boom, got it. North, egg white, perfect. So he's traction, north, egg white, chimpanzee, a chimpanzee, got it, okay. Position, okay. Egg white, chimpanzee, position, banish, poor chimpanzee, banish, oh, banish, she's probably banished to the South Pole. And then systematic, systematic, he's been banished. Banished, systematic is systematic, and bow or bow. I don't know the difference. I'm just going to call it bow. Boom. Okay, done. So here's my story. I memorized all those things. Let me close down this. Let me stop the share and let me close out that window. Dang, now you're not going to. I actually lost it. I guess I could Control Shift T, but just so you don't believe me. Okay, whatever. So here's my story for what it was. And you know, and maybe let me Control Shift T. Here's an easier way to do it. Will it give me the same? No, they're different words. Okay. So anyways, it was, and here's the story. Notorious B.I.G. was walking down the street and a big mountain came and ran into him and it made him slide. And the street actually was iced over, so he didn't have any traction. Okay, and then he slid and he slid and he slid all the way to the North Pole. So he was on the North Pole, and then a huge egg white came down on him. A huge egg white. Okay, it was crazy. And then a big chimpanzee came in and hugged him. And he kind of tackled him and threw him to the ground. But then as he sat him back up, he put his arm in another position. That was the position. And so we had the chimpanzee, chimpanzee, we had position, and then so let me just count through the words because I want to make sure that we had position, and then from that, I'll just finish the story, then we'll count the words to make sure that I did it right. Because there were 10. Position, and then we had he was basically cast out, but that's not the word that it was there. And then it was systematic and bow, but between position and systematic, it was basically cast out or expelled. Crap. I think maybe I forgot the word, but let's count those to see what I did, and then maybe in the interim they'll come back. So you had notorious, mountain, traction, North Pole, egg white, chimpanzee, position, and then cast out, but that's not it. It was expelled or something. And then it was systematized and bow. So he systematically climbed a ladder, actually, all the way back to New York, where he's from, or LA. And then when he was done, he made a bow. So if you'll notice in that story, I basically took Notorious B.I.G. I moved him when he got hit by the mountain. And this is important because when you're making up a story, you have to change scenes. In another video, I talk about in the first place, in the second place, and the third place. I talk about that. And it's important because you can only remember so many things in each place, okay? So in that story, I say Notorious B.I.G. is walking down the street. A huge mountain comes and knocks him over. He continues to slide on the ice. And then I got to get him off of that road. So he slides on the ice and then all the way to the North Pole. Now he's in a different place. He's at the top of the world. It's snowy and everything else. He's totally at the top of the world. And then from above, a huge egg white comes and splashes down on him. And then a chimpanzee comes out of nowhere and hugs him and tackles him. And then after he's tackled him, he's on the ground and crazy and moved over and not in a great thing. The chimpanzee has to move him up. And then the zookeeper actually comes up. Zookeeper's not a key word, but the zookeeper comes up and he expels him, casts out. The word might have been expel. I think it was expel. He expels him out of there. And then we need to get back. So he'd already been positioned. He'd been expelled, the expel word. And then he moves him out of there. And I need to get back somewhere else because I've been on the North Pole for a while. Just in your mind, you need to keep moving from that. So I put a big ladder and then you systematically climb it. Boom, 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 boom. He climbed each rung back to LA or wherever he's from. And when he was done with this big adventure, Notorious B.I.G.'s big adventure, maybe we'll make a movie about it, he takes a bow. And then I imagine him bowing. So the key to memorizing want, consensus, choice, husband, dang, all those words that I had were gone. So the key to memorizing those words, let me just close that because that's confusing. The key to memorizing all those words is to creatively tell a story about each word. So my kids, when they tell story, when they have me make up a story. They'll say water, and I imagine, okay, great, I'm falling in a huge puddle of water. And then they say bacon, and then I imagine that like bacon is raining down from the sky and slapping me in the face. Okay, that's bacon. And then they say air, and then I imagine that I'm like that a big fan, you know, it shoots me with air, you know, air. Or that might be confusing though. Maybe I'll imagine, you know, I start drowning in the pool and I have no air. And then they say bicycle. And at that point, I don't want to be in the pool anymore. Okay, I don't want to be in the pool anymore. I need to move on from that because otherwise it's going to be hard. So I imagine that the pool breaks open and I fly through down to the ground, because this was like an up in the sky pool, and I land on a bicycle. Then I start riding, and now I'm in a new scene. Then they say sausage, and then I imagine that there's a huge piece of sausage and I jump over it on my bike. So if you'll notice, I'm being creative. So my young kids love hearing these stories because they're so random. But the reason they're random is because you're making them memorable. One of the things about memory is they say that we don't forget things. We never remembered them in the first place. We didn't, you know, it's not that we can't remember, it's that we don't even member things in the first place. We don't commit them to memory. So a lot of this has to do with making an effort to remember things, okay? So anyways, there is a game for you that you can play with your kids, you know, your kids or anybody else. Tell them, hey, randomly, tell me 10 random objects or things, and I'll make up a story for you. And you can do that. You know, I forgot, I didn't stop that timer. Whew, we've been going a while. I didn't stop the timer, but that is how you play the game. So thank you for joining us. If you're new to the channel, you want to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. I hope that they get some value out of this game too. I create videos 5 days a week, and all of them are geared to help motivated people get ahead. You know, just like learning new memory stuff helps us. So we'll see you on the next video.